Welcome to Dharma Wisdom Talks, where we come together to explore profound life philosophies, lessons from Buddhism, and unique perspectives on life. Today, we'll reflect on an intriguing saying: in gambling, knowledge is business; in business, lack of knowledge is gambling. This statement may seem contradictory at first, but it contains a deep truth about risk, skill, and preparation in every area of life. It's not just a simple life philosophy, it can also be analyzed through life experiences, Buddhist values, and a deeper understanding of human nature. As we all know, life is filled with challenges and hardships. In a society where everyone chases success, we often forget that failure is the result of a lack of preparation and direction. This becomes even more apparent when we look at relationships, personal journeys, or even how we confront differences in thought. Together, we will delve into these ideas and see how they strongly reflect Buddhist teachings on mindfulness, patience, and living a righteous life. In gambling, knowledge is business; in business, lack of knowledge is gambling, offers a unique perspective that intertwines the philosophy of risk and skill in two seemingly opposing fields, gambling and business. This statement can be further explored through the lens of life experience, Buddhist teachings, and human philosophy. From the perspective of skill and risk. Gambling with knowledge. A gambler, when equipped with skill, an understanding of probabilities, the psychology of their opponents, and a solid strategy, can minimize risk and turn the game from a mere game of chance into a calculated form of investment. Similarly, in business, making decisions based on data, market research, and industry expertise helps control and reduce risks. Business without knowledge. Entering business without knowledge is like flipping a coin. You don't know whether your investment is wise or a waste of resources, and it's like placing a bet without knowing the rules of the game. From the Buddhist perspective, Buddhism teaches that all actions have consequences. Whether it's gambling or business, without mindfulness and ethical principles, both can lead to negative outcomes. Attachment to win or lose. Even when a gambler has knowledge, the act is still tied to the desire to win or lose. When you cling to results, your mind becomes unsettled, easily falling into greed or anger when failure occurs. In business, without wisdom, reckless risks driven by desire for profit without considering the consequences can lead to failure. The middle path. Buddhism advises maintaining a balanced mind, avoiding extremes. Whether it's gambling or business, if you don't uphold ethics and inner peace, both become double-edged swords. Life lessons. Business is the art of risk management. Both gambling and business involve risk, but a true businessman understands that lasting success comes from managing risk, not relying solely on luck. Knowledge is the foundation. Knowledge is the key to turning risk into opportunity. The saying emphasizes that any field requires continuous learning and skill development, whether it's gambling or business. A person without knowledge essentially hands their fate over to chance. Ethics as the root. No matter how skilled someone is, without ethics in their actions, both gambling and business will lead to negative consequences, not only for themselves but also for society. In practice, a professional gambler knows how to read the cards, but also knows when to stop. Similarly, a skilled entrepreneur not only knows how to generate profit but also considers the social impact and protects core values. These lessons encourage us to seek balance, always learn, and carefully consider our decisions before taking action. This saying serves as a reminder of the value of knowledge, wisdom, and the importance of living responsibly. While gambling and business differ in nature, both require preparation, calculation, and mindfulness to avoid falling into the cycles of greed, anger, and ignorance. The decisions you make in life, big or small, are all bets with your own destiny. But when you have wisdom and ethics, you are turning risk into opportunity for growth. There are two types of people you should never advise. One is a woman in love, and the other is a man making a lot of money. This statement, both humorous and insightful, delves into the psychology and behavior of human beings. Upon analyzing this saying, we realize that it's not only accurate in many instances but also reveals intriguing lessons about self-satisfaction, emotions, and stubbornness at different stages of life. Women in love. Reason clouded by emotion. In love, women often allow their emotions to dominate their reasoning. When in love, they are prone to idealize their partner, and any advice that contradicts their feelings is usually perceived as unsuitable or even interfering. Advice may lead to hurt feelings. Offering advice could make them feel misunderstood or hurt, as they believe their feelings are the correct guide. The result: even when the advice is sound, they often choose to follow their emotions over reason, dismissing logic in favor of their inner desires. Strong belief in personal choice. Love creates a safe space that's hard to escape from. At this point, women often don't want anyone spoiling the experience because they genuinely believe they are happy or that they can change their partner for the better. Men making a lot of money. Complacency and a sense of invincibility. When men are earning a lot of money, they often feel righteous, powerful, and almost immune to advice from others. They tend to equate financial success with intelligence, leading them to believe they don't need to listen to anyone else. Excessive confidence can lead to disregard for advice. This overconfidence can cause them to ignore or even dismiss warnings or cautionary advice from others. Fear of being doubted. When successful, men often fear that others will think they are heading in the wrong direction or lack the ability to maintain their success. To protect their image of success, they tend to reject advice, fearing it will undermine their achievements. Through the lens of Buddhism and life philosophy, Buddhism emphasizes mindfulness and humility in all situations. In both of these cases, emotions or success cloud one's wisdom. Women in love. This is a state of delusion, moha, one of the three poisons of the mind in Buddhist teachings: greed, hatred, and delusion. When in love, women are obsessed with the idealization of their relationship and forget to see things as they truly are. Men in success. This represents greed, labha, and arrogance, mana. Greed leads them to immerse themselves in wealth, while arrogance convinces them that they are the center of all correctness. The Buddhist lesson here is that whether in love or success, people must maintain mindfulness, humility, and the ability to listen. Extreme states, whether of passion or ego, always lead to suffering. Psychological lessons. Understanding human nature. Both women in love and men making money share one common trait: they believe they don't need advice. This is not necessarily due to stubbornness, but rather because they are so focused on one aspect of life, love or wealth, that they have difficulty opening up to other perspectives. Timing is more important than the advice. Advice is only effective when the recipient is ready to hear it. Women will listen when they're heartbroken or in turmoil over love, and men will accept advice when faced with financial risks. Therefore, instead of pushing advice, wait for the right moment. Practical application in daily life. When dealing with a woman in love, instead of offering advice, listen and empathize. Only when they are ready to open up can you help them see the issue from a more objective standpoint. When dealing with a successful man, ask questions rather than giving direct advice. For example, instead of saying you should be careful, ask, what do you think is the best way to sustain your success long term? This approach helps them feel respected and allows them to assess the situation themselves. Final thought. This saying serves as a subtle reminder that advice is not always welcome. Sometimes, the best form of care is silence and patience. People only change when they are ready, and pushing them too hard may backfire. Ultimately, what matters is not whether to give advice or not, but respecting the journey of others. Let them experience life for themselves, as the lessons learned from one's own experiences are often far more powerful than any advice could ever be. The quote, "People never plan for failure. They simply fail to plan for success is a profound reflection on the importance of preparation and direction. It's not just a lesson in management but also a commentary on human behavior and mindset throughout life. Failure is the consequence of lack of preparation. No one truly desires failure, yet failure is rarely a random event. It often arises from a lack of preparation, absence of a clear plan, or failure to anticipate potential risks. Without laying out a clear path toward success, one inevitably sets the stage for failure. It's like setting sail without a map. You'll either sink or get hopelessly lost. The importance of planning. A plan serves as a compass, guiding action in a focused direction and preventing the waste of time and resources. A good plan doesn't just define goals, it also includes strategies for overcoming the inevitable obstacles. Lack of planning doesn't just lead to failure, it leads to confusion and a loss of confidence when faced with challenges. Buddhism's principle of cause and effect. Buddhism highlights the principle of cause, condition, and effect. Every outcome, good or bad, is the result of seeds planted. Failing to plan for success is essentially planting the seeds for failure. Failing to prepare is sowing negative seeds. Those who don't plan often act impulsively, without considering consequences. This reflects a lack of mindfulness and wisdom, which increases the likelihood of failure. Mindfulness in every step. Buddhism teaches that living mindfully isn't just about being present, it's about understanding that what you do today will impact tomorrow. Planning is a form of mindfulness, ensuring that every action aligns with a greater purpose. The laws of life. The laws of success and failure. Life doesn't leave room for pure randomness. Success doesn't come from luck, it's the result of careful preparation and purposeful action. Conversely, failure is not a matter of fate. It's the outcome of poor decisions, neglect, or an inability to look ahead. Solution-oriented thinking. Failure is not what's to be feared, it's the lack of a plan to learn from it and rise again. Solution-oriented thinkers always have contingency plans B, C, etc. to mitigate risks. This idea emphasizes that preparation not only helps you achieve your goals but also better equips you to handle the unexpected. Key takeaways. Plans don't have to be perfect, but they need to be feasible. Many fear planning, thinking it's too complex or impossible to predict everything. In reality, a plan only needs to be clear enough for you to understand what you're doing and why. This clarity enables you to better manage unforeseen situations. Action without a plan is like gambling. Each decision made without direction is like betting everything on a roll of the dice. You might win, but the odds of losing are much higher without proper preparation. Learn from failure. Failure isn't the end. Wise individuals learn not only from their own failures but from others as well. Final thoughts. This statement serves as a reminder that life isn't a series of random events but the result of deliberate choices and planned actions. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need direction. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. A good plan acts as your guiding star, ensuring you're on the right path. Failure, on the other hand, is a lesson. Without a plan, failure is inevitable. But if you learn to plan from your failures, you'll move closer to success. Life is like a chess game, and the winner is not necessarily the strongest player, but the one who knows how to think ahead. A bee never wastes time explaining to flies why nectar is better than the garbage on the street. This saying serves as a profound metaphor about how we face differences in thinking and values. It offers a lesson on the importance of focusing on what matters, rather than attempting to change the perception of those who do not share your views or understand your worth. The bee and the fly. The bee represents those who live with purpose, ideals, and higher values. They understand what is important, what is worth pursuing, and do not waste time on meaningless things. The fly symbolizes those who live and think differently, often attracted to the mundane or valueless. The contrast between the bee and the fly reflects the difference in ideologies and life values. One side aims for refinement, beauty, and meaningful pursuits. The other is easily attracted to the trivial, superficial things in life. The main message: don't waste time with those who aren't on the same frequency. You cannot convince someone to understand the value of something they've never experienced or do not want to experience. Instead of trying to explain or argue, focus on doing your work well and living according to your values. The profound meaning behind the saying. The statement "a bee never wastes time explaining to flies why nectar is better than the garbage on the street" carries a deep, philosophical message about how we confront differences in thinking and values. It teaches us to focus on what matters, rather than trying to change the mindset of those who don't share our perspective or appreciate our worth. 1. Analyzing the meaning of the saying. The bee represents individuals who live with purpose, ideals, and high values. They know what's important and worth pursuing, so they don't waste time on trivial things. The fly symbolizes those who have a different way of thinking and living, often attracted to shallow or worthless things. The contrast between the bee and the fly highlights the difference in ideologies and life values. One is drawn to refinement, beauty, and meaningful pursuits. The other is easily attracted to the mundane and superficial. The core message: don't waste time with people who are not on the same wavelength. You can't make someone understand the value of something they have never experienced or don't want to experience. Rather than trying to explain or argue, focus on doing what you do best and live according to your own values. 2. From a Buddhist perspective. Buddhism teaches that every person has a different capacity and level of understanding. Not everyone is ready or fortunate enough to comprehend higher truths or deep wisdom. Maintaining mindfulness. A mindful person understands that debating or trying to convince others is not always necessary. Just like the bee, instead of explaining, focus on making honey. In other words, pursue your path with diligence and integrity. Right speech and silence at the right time. Buddha teaches that words should only be spoken when they are useful, timely, and can bring about benefit. For those who are not ready to understand, silence can be a form of wisdom. Letting go of attachment. If you are too concerned with explaining or convincing others, this shows attachment to your ego. A wise person focuses on improving themselves, rather than trying to change others. Understanding the value of focus. Time and energy are limited resources. If you spend them trying to persuade people who are not willing to listen or don't share your goals, you are only hindering your own progress. Focus on what you do best. Just like the bee concentrates on gathering nectar, instead of getting caught up in meaningless distractions. Learning to choose whom to communicate with. Not everyone deserves your attention or explanation. Choose to engage with people who are open to receiving and appreciating the value you bring. Differences in thinking and perception. A fly can't understand the sweetness of nectar, just as some people cannot understand the value of deeper, meaningful things. Trying to explain this to them is not only futile, but it also diminishes your own worth. Take action. Don't debate too much. Instead of trying to convince others that what you're doing is right, let the results and actions speak for themselves. Learn to ignore what doesn't matter. Just like the bee doesn't concern itself with garbage, you shouldn't waste energy on negative comments or opinions from those who don't understand you. Find the right flower to serve. There will always be people who appreciate what you do. Rather than explaining to flies, spend your time sharing your value with those who understand and resonate with you. This saying is not merely a piece of advice, but a profound lesson in mastering oneself and choosing the right interactions in life. Not everyone will understand your value, and that's okay. What's important is that you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Change yourself. Don't try to change others. Just like the bee doesn't argue with the fly, focus on improving yourself instead of wasting time trying to persuade those who don't share your perspective. Remember, life is short, and your worth doesn't need to be proven to everyone. Living true to your values is how you show wisdom and strength. The waters of the ocean cannot sink the boat, only the water inside the boat can sink it. This powerful metaphor holds a profound lesson about how we face challenges and difficulties in life. It suggests that our greatest enemy is not the external obstacles we encounter, but rather how we respond to them and allow them to affect us. The ocean and the boat. The ocean symbolizes the challenges, difficulties, and external forces in life. It is vast and filled with dangers, but it cannot harm us unless we allow it to enter within. Similarly, life is full of external struggles, but the ocean itself does not threaten the boat unless the water is allowed to seep inside. The boat represents our lives or ourselves. As long as we do not allow the negativity and hardships of the world to infiltrate our inner peace and thoughts, we can remain steady and navigate through any challenges. The water inside the boat. The water inside the boat represents the negative thoughts, worries, fears, or lack of preparation that we allow into our minds. When we let these factors dominate our thinking, they weigh us down, metaphorically causing us to sink, leading to failure or collapse. This is a reminder that our inner state determines whether we succeed or fail. If we allow negative emotions, doubt, or fear to rule us, they can sink our potential to rise and achieve our goals. In Buddhism, the mind is seen as the master, meaning all suffering and happiness stem from our attitudes and thoughts. Restlessness creates suffering. Buddhism teaches that all suffering arises from attachment, desire, and delusion in the mind. These elements are like water in the boat. If not controlled, they can cause one to sink into suffering. Just as the boat remains afloat as long as external water does not enter, we remain steady in life as long as our inner peace is not disturbed by external turmoil. Maintain a pure and mindful heart. Buddhism encourages us to cultivate a pure and mindful heart. When the mind is unaffected by external circumstances, we can live in peace and face any challenge with resilience. If we guard our inner peace and do not let external forces disturb us, we are in control of our lives, no matter how challenging things may seem. The influence of external factors. Life is full of challenges, much like the vast ocean. However, these difficulties will only cause us to sink if we allow them to penetrate our inner peace. Remember, external events cannot change your life unless you allow them to. You cannot control everything that happens around you, but you can control how you respond to it. Focus on solutions. Allowing negative emotions to dominate your thoughts will only exhaust you and make it easier to give up. Instead of focusing on the problem, focus on finding solutions and overcoming the difficulties. This saying underscores the importance of mastering our inner state. If our mind is not swayed by external forces, we will not sink in the face of difficulties. Calmness and clarity are the keys to navigating challenges with confidence. Don't let external factors control your life. You cannot stop the rain or erase the wind, but you can control how you react to them. Don't let the difficulties of life make you lose your balance. Cultivate inner resilience. Focus on developing resilience and inner strength. When you have a strong heart and mind, you can endure any storm and continue moving forward. Do not fear challenges, for they cannot defeat you if you keep faith and self-control. Just as the boat doesn't sink despite the vast ocean, you will not be overwhelmed by challenges if you maintain faith in yourself. Keep your belief strong and trust in your ability to face difficulties without succumbing to them. This saying is a powerful reminder of the strength of inner peace and the ability to control our emotions in life. Challenges and difficulties are an inevitable part of life, but you can choose not to let them sink you. Don't let negative emotions, fear, or worry control your thoughts. Be resilient and focus on what is important rather than letting external factors lead you astray. Life is like a journey across the ocean, with us as the navigators. It is only when we let the water inside that we sink. So, keep your mind clear and steady, and you will overcome any challenge without losing your way. Don't let the attitude of others take away your innate kindness. Your kindness towards someone is not because of who they are, but because of who you are. This saying contains a powerful lesson about maintaining personal integrity and values in the face of external influences. It emphasizes that kindness is not a reaction to others but a reflection of your true character. Kindness is a personal virtue, independent of others. Kindness is an inherent quality that comes from within, and it should not be influenced by others' attitudes or actions. When you act kindly, you are expressing your values, your character, and your essence. As the saying goes, your kindness isn't a response to the expectations or actions of others. It's because you are a kind person. Kindness is a choice, an attitude towards life, and it shouldn't be dictated by how others treat you. Others' attitudes shouldn't define your core. This statement also teaches a crucial lesson in life. Don't let others' negative actions or attitudes change who you are. Don't allow others to pull you down with unkind behavior. While you cannot control how others treat you, you can control how you respond. Buddhism places great importance on maintaining a heart full of compassion and forgiveness. These are qualities that each individual must cultivate to overcome greed, anger, and ignorance, the root causes of suffering. Kindness as an expression of compassion. Buddha teaches that kindness and compassion are not about whether others deserve it, but about living with a heart full of compassion. When we act kindly, it's not just for the benefit of others, but to ease their suffering and preserve our own inner peace. Do not let the attitudes of others change your heart. Buddhism also teaches us not to let the world pollute our hearts. As the saying above implies, others' attitudes shouldn't affect your virtues. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can control your own attitude. Right speech and right action. Kindness is one of the righteous acts in spiritual practice. When we practice right speech and kind actions, we not only help others, but we also enrich ourselves. It's not about how others treat you, it's about maintaining your integrity. Kindness should not be a conditional reaction to others. When you act kindly, it is a conscious decision because you want to live a meaningful life filled with happiness. Kindness comes from a good heart and doesn't always require reward. Kindness comes from a pure heart, and it's not always about receiving something in return. You may not get the kindness you give back, but at least you've preserved your own integrity and happiness. Don't let negativity pollute your soul. Others' attitudes might disappoint or hurt you, but if you let extreme emotions change your demeanor, you are harming yourself. You can't change others' behavior, but you can choose how to respond to them. Choose peace of mind. When you act with kindness, you feel peace within. You don't need to worry about whether others are acting as you wish, because you've stayed true to your values. Be kind for yourself. Kindness isn't about getting something in return from others, but because you want to live a life filled with compassion and empathy. You don't need to change yourself just because others don't understand or treat you well. Kindness is an unbeatable strength. The world may be full of negativity, but if you remain kind, you'll always be victorious in your inner life. Kindness isn't just a way to build relationships, it's a way to protect yourself from the darkness of the world. Choose how to face negativity. Facing others' negativity without letting it affect you is a sign of maturity. When you don't let negativity change you, you demonstrate your strength and self-control. A powerful reminder of personal integrity and choice in action. This saying serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of staying steadfast in your personal values and choices. Your kindness doesn't depend on others, it depends on you. When you act kindly, you are showing your own nobility and wisdom. Don't let the negativity of others cause you to lose yourself. Hold on to your kindness because you know its value, both for yourself and for the world around you. Kindness is a force that can change the world, starting with you. Even if others may not understand your kindness, at least you have lived according to the values you respect. Kindness is a small flame, but when nurtured and cared for, it can light up an entire dark world. If you haven't yet achieved great things, start by doing small things with a great attitude. This statement emphasizes the significance of attitude in life and the way we approach our daily tasks. Sometimes, We can't accomplish grand feats immediately, but we can create greatness in every small action we take. The importance of attitude in life. At the heart of this saying is the idea that attitude is everything. When you approach even the smallest task with a grand attitude, it reflects your larger spirit and noble goals. If you do something without care, no matter how big it is, it will lack real value. A great attitude is one that strives for excellence, never underestimating even the smallest tasks. It's a continual desire to learn and improve oneself with each small step. We can start with small things. Don't wait for the opportunity to do something great. Take every opportunity, no matter how small, to show greatness in your actions. You don't need power, money, or influence to demonstrate your worth. Small actions could be helping others, taking better care of yourself, or simply doing your current job well without expecting anything in return. These actions gradually build a solid foundation for bigger accomplishments in the future. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of cultivating greatness in every small action, with a calm mind and a noble spirit. Greatness begins in simple acts. The Buddha taught that small but right actions can lead to great results. Every kind act, no matter how tiny, can accumulate into great merit if done with a pure heart. Humility and patience. No greatness is achieved without effort and patience. Buddhism teaches that even small acts, when done with compassion and perseverance, help us attain enlightenment and inner freedom. Right action and right conduct. Every action in life, no matter how small or large, can become the right action when performed with mindfulness and goodwill. It is in the kindness and persistence shown in small tasks that we build the foundation for greater achievements. The importance of doing things right, step by step. The greatest victories often begin with the smallest ones. People often search for big achievements but fail to recognize that every big accomplishment is built from small steps. By focusing on each step, you not only do well in your current task but also develop your skills and maturity. Great actions are not always instant. Great actions aren't always those that make a strong impression on others. Sometimes, greatness simply means persistently doing your daily tasks with full dedication and without complaints. When you approach small tasks with a great attitude, you'll realize that the value lies not just in the outcome but also in the process itself. Greatness is found in how you approach and execute the work. Do every small task well. When you do something, no matter how small, do it with all your heart and seriousness. If you can't do the small tasks well, it will be difficult to do the bigger ones effectively. Big success often comes from small habits that you build every day. Patience and persistence. Don't rush to achieve big results right away. Be patient and persistent in each of your steps. Every great accomplishment is the result of continuous small efforts. Don't underestimate small tasks. Never think small tasks are unimportant. In fact, these small things create the solid foundation for great achievements. You cannot accomplish great things without first starting with small tasks. This saying embodies a profound life philosophy: never underestimate the small actions in life. Even if you haven't yet done something grand, by doing small tasks well with a great attitude, you're building a meaningful and potential-filled life. A great attitude is how you approach every task in life, not about the scale or recognition. It comes from working with passion and respect for what you're doing, even if it's just a small task. Don't wait for big opportunities. Start with small tasks and do them well. Greatness will naturally find you when you maintain a positive attitude and persevere through each small step in your journey. Remember, greatness is not a destination, it's the way you live throughout the journey. In the end, the lessons we draw from this saying, along with its profound metaphors, are not merely philosophies for reflection. They are reminders about how to live and our attitude toward life. The challenges we face are not the waves out there, but rather the emotions and thoughts within us. Just as the water in the ocean doesn't sink the ship, it's what's inside the ship that can do that. The things we allow to affect us are what truly determine the direction of our lives. And through the advice on kindness, on having a grand attitude in the small things, we also see the influence of Buddhism in maintaining virtue and the innate goodness of each person, no matter how much the world outside may change. Remember, when we live with a clear mind and a sincere attitude, every step we take can become a great journey, even in the smallest of actions. Thank you for joining us at Dharma Wisdom Talks. We hope these reflections will help you find awakening in your own life journey. Stay tuned for future videos as we continue to explore even deeper philosophies together.